welcome to Sit Down for Stand Up with me, Daniel. I'm with my girl Debbie from Nottinghamshire. How are you, Debbie? You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, cheers. I'm well. I'm glad I got you on here because the first time was a bit of a debacle with my speakers. So yeah, I'm happy to get you on. So yeah, the topic of conversation is mostly about comedy, stand-up comedy for newer people in the scene, and sort of how they're getting on. So how are you finding it so far?
I'm loving it. I only ever intended to do one gig. It was just, the bucket list thing, getting older, tick the bucket list, and then it just got me, and I love it. I love it. I chase gigs. I sometimes, my enthusiasm can wind some of the promoters up, but I'm learning that. I'm learning. But I chase gigs, and I get out as much as I can. Love it. Love it.
I mean, you say chase them. They're usually shitter than the ones who are trying to get the gigs themselves. I mean, in London, I probably for every 20 people I email, I probably get one response. So
Yeah, and it's learning. Yeah, and that's what it is. It's learning that, So yeah, I email everybody, and then I kind of send updates. Hi, just want to let you know what I'm doing. Keep you on my radar, and it kind of winds people up. So, but I've learned that. I've
it's,
learned that.
I mean, ultimately, it's a sales job. To be honest, like you just got
Well,
pester. But there's not much about you on online social media. I tried to find some bits and bobs. So have you got sort of like your 5-10 minute sets you're sending out to the agents?
yeah, I've got it on YouTube, and I share that out. My Facebook, I haven't got a specific Facebook, and I'm going to have to ask my daughter to help me make one.
Oh,
So I've just got my friends and family Facebook. I can't get my head around Instagram and TikTok and all that rubbish. So
there's so many now, isn't there? I mean, is any of your material about your family when your daughter sees it?
is it what? Sorry.
Is any of your material like will it shock your daughter if she's doing your Facebook? She has to
My
watch
oldest,
it.
yeah, my oldest girl is supportive and comes to me whenever she can, and she'll critique, and I appreciate that. My middle daughter thinks I need to grow up. And my husband's only interested if I'm going doing a world tour like Sarah Millican. So that's what I'm up against.
Right, so yeah, your husband's there when the money's there.
Well, that's it. He just can't get his head around why I'm doing this for the kicks.
How long have we been doing it for now?
My first gig was the 11th of December last year.
Okay, so yeah, we're quite new and like you just got the bug straight away. You just wanted to get straight back
Just
on.
loved it. Because I did a really good venue, and it was purely by chance. I did the Canal House at Nottingham, and it was a comedy night that they run regular. The place were full. I don't know what it seats, 100 or more people.
Oh, okay.
Um, and the MC who introduced me, let everybody know it was my first gig, so they were really kind to me. And when I came off stage, they were hugging me, and I thought all gigs were like that.
No, no, far from. But my
I know. I know.
my first ever gig was a gong show. Never done one before, and literally I was on the. They said it was my first time, and after a minute I got booed off.
Oh,
So
bless
yeah,
you. My second gig was a gong.
I had to find it.
Well, because I were oblivious. It was just I made it through to the final, and I've done three gongs. I've won one. I've done a super gong, made it to the final. So they don't really intimidate me as much. One in the beginning, and it was because I was oblivious,
Mhm.
and now it's because I know, and I really prepare. I hit the laughs every couple of minutes. I kind of.
Yes.
Oh, anyway, that's the theory.
Did you have like your go-to like 5-10 minute set on gongs, or do you mix it up each time?
I don't plan on doing lots more gongs. I've done them now.
Yeah. I
There's just one. There's just one I'd like to do. I'd like to do the Manchester Beat the Frog,
right,
but
okay.
I have been in touch with them, and they're booking at the moment July. But I'd like to do September, October, and just tie it in with a family visit because I'm from up there originally. But I tend to travel about an hour.
Okay, so
So
that's
from
sort of
Nottingham,
But you're
Yeah,
not.
I'm kind of central. I don't
My
go down
geography is
London.
shit, so Nottingham, Sheffield.
Um, I've got some. I've got a couple of gigs in Peterborough, and that'd be it out there. And then I can go up to Bradford, Leeds. So I'm really central.
Okay, but would you consider
Mm.
coming down to London to try it out here?
No,
I, I
it's,
don't blame you.
no. But do you know what? Yeah, maybe, and I know that's what I should do. But it's because all the gigs are midweek. I work.
Oh, I mean,
You know.
I've got a gig tonight at the Hamlet, and to be in when you're starting up in London, it's quite hard because I don't know if this translates up north, but everything seems to be a bringer show. So
Yeah,
you
they don't do we don't do that up here.
know
I
you're
mean, I've
perfect
seen.
up north
I'm
or Midlands.
yeah.
Sorry,
I
I'll
mean,
get
I'm on.
criticised for that.
Yeah, no, but it's true. I mean, we don't have them. We don't have the bringers. And I do follow. I mean, I'm on lots of comedy, groups and what have you, and I see all the gigs that are coming out, and so I know what's going on. I'm just not ready to come down there because for me to come down there, I'd want to do a couple and make it worthwhile kind of thing, and I'd be coming on my own.
Yeah,
And I know that seems a big deal, but I've got to go to I'm going to Birmingham on the 12th of July. It's the Spirit of Comedy.
yep, I know.
Um,
Yes.
yeah. So I've got on there, and it's for 2 minutes.
Mm,
It's a 2 minute gig, but I want to do it because of the audience experience. I want to do it because the size of the venue. I
yeah.
don't think I'm going to win. I'm not. I'm not that. I don't know. I'm not that full of myself that I think I'm going to win. But for the experience,
Mm.
you know.
Well, to be honest, I would sort of disagree with that. Like on my first ever show, like I said, it was a gong show. There was a New Zealand guy who was telling me how to do it, and he lasted 10 seconds on stage. So experience isn't anyway. If you're raw, you've got something they haven't heard before, then
Mm.
like they'll love you. So like you did your first one in December. How long was you sort of like preparing, writing before you decided to do it? Was there like a little time gap or?
I lived abroad and we lived in Malta and we came back
Oh,
in
okay.
April. So we missed the kids, and it's kind of, do you know what? All expats go home. It's one of them things, and it sounds really morbid, but where do you want to die? And
True.
and, and that's the reality of it. Let's be sensible and grown up. So me leaving, I was leaving do in March. I did stand up. We had a farewell party and I did a 15-minute spot, but it was my friends and family. And I'd wrote this thing and it were things about what had happened and about different people and all that kind of stuff. And it went down really well. And I thought, I think I can do this, but I've got to do it in a room full of strangers. I can't do it with friends and family. And that's why I did it. So I only had a 5-minute spot, my first one, and it was really very structured. There were no room for movement. I didn't know where the laughs were going to come, So I did it. I managed it, but then it gave me the bite. My
Yeah.
daughter videoed it. I ripped it apart.
You've already said now you want
Yeah,
to sort of go like bigger rooms. So you want to consistently come
yeah,
out your comfort zone.
yeah, and that's what it is. And that's what it is. Because I'm doing the circuit here. I'm starting to see people. I know I'm building relationships. Um, I turn up and there's certain people I'm very, very comfortable with, and if you sat with people that you know and you like, and I know their stuff, they know my stuff, it's really comfortable, even though the audience have never seen it before. I went to a gig last night, there was no audience.
Mm.
So he said to us, and he's a really nice guy, and he said, "It's up to you. What do you want to do?" And there were 6 of us, and it were like, "Well, we're down here now." He said, "Well, let's do a workshop. Never done it before." So he said, "You do your spot. Pretend you got to do it as if you're doing your 10-minute spot." He
Mm.
said, "And we're going to rip it apart, and we're going to rebuild it, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that." And I watched him. I was next to the last. I watched him do everybody, and I thought, "Oh, I don't know if I want this." But it went all right. It were all right. Everything. The critique was all positive. I could take stuff away from it. Uh, I wouldn't pay for a workshop, but I had the experience there and then, and it was useful, and it really was. And I tried a new story that I had that I didn't know if it'd work, and they liked it, and they said, yeah, just said that there, and it was great.
Mm.
So
What I do like about in the stand-up community is that we are, in essence, we are all in it for ourselves. But when you have got that collective who will help you along the way, it's sort of the best of both worlds,
yeah,
which I
yeah.
feel fantastic. You said you like your elder sister, no, elder sister, sorry, your daughter, eldest daughter comes along. Do you prefer performing in with your family and friends or complete strangers? I mean, like none of my
No,
family or friends I've even invited to a gig.
no, I'm fine with both. There was one night when a group came from work, and no, it was fine. It was fine. I kind of, I scan the audience. I try to keep looking at different people rather than staring at one person. I try to like direct things that I haven't, I don't do audience work. I haven't
The
got the
crowd work.
confidence, but I do, yeah, but I do respond to them.
Yes.
I do respond. You know, if they say something funny, I'll try to say something back. You know, if they make a comment. I mean, I don't get heckled as such, but so no, I'm okay with people being there. I mean, my husband's only seen me do this once because most of my act is based on him.
That was going to be my follow-up. What is sort of is your
Yeah.
the first one is on stage. Are you yourself on stage, or do you sort of create this alternative persona?
I'm just a posher. I'm just a better dressed version of myself. I dress up. I don't like that people turn up in jeans. It's because I'm in my 60s and I think you should dress up when you go out. And
Well,
so I
that's
always
Jimmy
have.
Carr's. That's Jimmy Carr's mentality as well.
Yeah, I just feel that you know, and I start off by saying I've dressed up for you tonight, you know, and I open like that, you know. I always dress up on a special occasion, and that's like my opening thing. So I forgot what the question was. No, I am myself. I'm still me. It's Northern accent. I tend to talk about real things, but I might elaborate just a little bit to make it funny. But the stories are things that have happened in the marriage and experiences we've had and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it seems to work. People say I'm relatable,
Mhm.
and I only swear once. I
Okay,
only,
so
I only, I only said the F word once because I don't swear. It's not my thing.
it's
But
not your
that gets
natural
the
language.
Yeah, and it's like it gets the biggest laugh because they're looking at this kind of posh old bird. I don't know if posh is the right word. I dress nice, you know, and then I
Yeah,
swear, and
it's
they
like the
just
Queen dropping the C bomb. You're gonna
yeah,
laugh.
yeah,
Like, Liz would have never done that, but
it is. So yeah, I don't have a persona. I'm kind of me.
okay. What is the? I love asking this question. What is the worst time you've bombed? And we'll then do the other one. What was your favourite thrill?
Um, bombed. I did a show where there were only four in the audience, um, and two of them had to leave, and they came round to the rest of the comics and apologised and shook hands. It were really difficult because there were no laughs to thrive off. I did my set, I did it, and these four people were very appreciative and what have you, but it just don't work, you know, without that kind of vibe. The best one, there's been two recently. One was in a back room of a pub, um, and I stood in front of the fireplace, but it were the best. It were just they were so warm, appreciative. This not gong show. This night is on once a month. It's been going 10 years. They love it. The guy who runs it, you know, he puts on a good show, and they were just so appreciative, and they were like hanging on me words, and it made me feel like, wow, I really can do this.
I mean, yeah, that's when you've got no people there. Sort of, you don't know if the jokes are funny or not, especially at this stage. Do you take it out the material? Do you leave it in? Do you say, right, I'm gonna try it again a week's from time, 2 weeks time? So,
I've kind of got I've got 15 minutes, and I adapt it to what time I've got.
okay,
So depending what
How much material would you say you've got in total?
15.
15.
15. If I get lots of laughs, it stretches a little bit more. There's one of the gigs I do, and he says, oh, somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. If you crap, I'll let you know. That's what he says. And
Oh,
I usually manage around 15 for him.
Okay.
But he does that. He does that to push your boundaries. That's why he does it.
Mm. Oh, which is good because they want you to succeed. So
Yeah, yeah, he is. He's out of Sheffield. He's one of the promoters there, and he's quite a successful guy. Runs quite a few nights, open mic nights. I'm not on the pro level yet. I mean, I'm desperate to get middle spots, but
mm, it's
it's
a
getting
work
them
in
into.
it's a work in progress. How do you find it being in sort of like in comedy, stand-up comedy world is heavily involved around alcohol? How do you find like the nightlife scene to it?
Do you know? I don't. I don't know. Maybe because I'm doing midweek gigs.
Okay,
Because I'm doing midweek gigs, they're not boozy gigs.
right.
I haven't really seen anybody hammering it. I mean, I've seen people come off stage and have a few pints, but I always wait. I always wait till everybody's done, and I think that's a courtesy. If they've been there watching me, I stay till the last act, and
Also
then I say
respectfully.
goodbye. Yeah, and I said goodbye to everybody, so I don't stay and party anyway.
Well, it's also good to say until the end. They'll remember your face, and it is just etiquette in the system. Nothing infuriates me more when someone's on the first half and they don't come back for the second half.
Yeah.
I've had it. So, how do you sort of prepare for your set?
I put a dress and my makeup on. Um, I just the day, I'm getting a lot of 10-minute spots and I'm doing lots of different places, so I can do the same act because I'm not repeating it to people. So depending how many minutes I've got, usually 10, I just run through it.
Mm.
Um, Depending where it is, I switch things around and try it in a different order. Or last night, because we did this workshop, I'd intended to try this new piece anyway, and I thought, well, I'll try it. It depends what it is.
Yeah,
I don't get overly nervous because I'm kind of like I said. I keep saying I see the same comics,
yeah. And you know what
and
that sort of
and I don't think I'm a very threatening person. So, you know, it. I don't have any issues with anybody yet.
yes,
Yet,
yes, yeah.
yeah.
There's one in waiting, isn't there? Somewhere hiding.
But
Uh,
bring it on.
So, how would you sort of describe your set? Would you say you sort of like puns, storytelling?
No, it is storytelling, and I try my best for it to flow. So like I kind of say I've got dressed up, then I tell them where I'm from, then I tell them my mother were crazy. I have a little bit about body image, but it's not a poor me. There's a punchline on it. Then I talk about my husband, how long I've been married. It just kind of I try and make it flow. I don't like it disjointed. I want it to flow. And
Okay.
then I've got I just kind of finish off by saying I just want to finish by saying, and I say that, and then I just do a quick, it's like a 1 minute thing, and it finishes on a high.
Okay. So no, I like that. So what you finish with like the prompt were like almost like thank you the audience, thank you, I'm here, I appreciate
Yeah,
this.
yeah, and I do say that, and I say that, my name's Debbie Holt, and thank you for spending your time with me, and I leave the audio. I like to finish it. I don't like it just leaving, and even with the gongs, I time it. I time it so I can say my last bit before they gong me.
About 10 seconds before, so you got no material left.
Yeah. The first gong I did, I got through and I had to do the minute. You have to do the minute for the final. I weren't prepared because I
Yeah.
didn't think I'd get through. So I just waffled for a bit and went, oh. Whereas really I should have just said, I ain't got anything. I'm surprised I'm this far. Thank you for your time and gone.
Hindsight's lovely though. So you've been doing this since December. I know
Yeah.
if you could already give yourself advice from December from now to you know what I mean. Advice now you
Yeah.
could have given yourself back in December. What would it have been?
Don't upset the promoters.
No?
And I have. I've got a list. I have notes on my phone. I've got a list of promoters that I've pissed off.
So it's
And
my
I always and I do, and I apologise, and I say I've got no, and I'm living and learning, and hopefully I don't piss any more off now because I know. But I would bombarding them, but really nicely. But it's still bombardment, isn't it?
we've got to. I think you've
Yeah,
got to, and if it pisses them off that much, they'll block your email address. If not, then and they
yeah.
want it, like because then they've always got you in the back of their minds, in the wings, sort of just in
Well,
case.
yeah, and like one of them who sent me a snotty email. I actually met him face to face, and I thought we had a decent conversation. Now you never know.
No.
I said, I said, I said, come on, the elephant's in the room. I'm sorry, I'm new. I didn't know. I get it completely. If if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be the same. So can we start afresh? And he went, yeah, yeah. And I got a hug, and I thought, yeah, but you'll still be talking about me. But anyway,
And so that's where we started. Where do you sort of see yourself? Like, can you see yourself doing this in 5, 10 years?
I think I've started too late. I think I've left it too late. So I don't know how far I could possibly go. Um, it'd be wonderful if I got a bit of money rather than just bucket money. It'd be nice if I got paid spots, and it'd be nice if I got weekend spots. That's where I'd like to be, but realistically, I don't know. I don't know. I think I've left it too late.
I would challenge that bit, but I just think no, I'll challenge that because I mean, some comedians go on to. I mean, trying to be really polite here. Go on to the more seasoned years. So,
Mm,
I mean, there's no
yeah,
time
but
too late to start.
they've usually had careers from young people and then they carry on. I mean, there's a couple of older women, on the circuit that I've come across, and I'm not like them. I'm different than them. The two who I'm similar to age to both have characters. They play, one plays kind of more like a slapper kind of thing, and the other one's like more a scatty brain. That were different, but I could never play on a set with them.
No, I understand that. So you've done gong shows, you've done normal shows. Have you done any roast battles?
No,
Would
no,
you
I
want to
haven't.
Would you want to quickly
I
try
don't know.
30 seconds? Use me for
Pardon?
30 seconds.
Oh, I don't know if I could.
Oh,
I don't know if I could. I'm too nice. I can't do that. And something. I haven't seen any round here.
no.
It's not something unless they have them up in Leeds and what have you. But I've not seen one in Derby, Nottingham. I don't think I've seen one in Sheffield.
Most are just like normal shows, bucket shows, gong shows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And who would you sort of say your favourite comedian is?
Carolina Hearn,
Okay, awesome.
Northern Lass. Just reality, reality TV before reality TV. Yeah, I liked her. I liked her a lot. Victoria Woods, but not the commercial stuff.
Okay, yeah, would more like hidden. Well, I think with a lot of them, they're very different on stand up than they are as actors, actresses.
Yeah, yeah.
That is very different. Right, Debbie, that's all I've got time for.
That's
Thank you ever so much
brilliant.
for coming on the show.
You are very welcome. You are very welcome. And I did have plenty to talk about. There you go. You can't shut me up. Thank you, love. You take care.
Thank you.